You would have heard today some rumblings taking place at Eskom, and a union saying that they're shocked by the 0% wage increase that Eskom is offering, basically offering nothing for 2018. The cash-strapped utility saying it needs to balance the books and it cannot afford any of the increases. But the unions, of course, are not accepting this, and they're prepared to embark on an unprotected strike. National Union of Mineworkers Chief Negotiator at Eskom, Helen Diatile, joins me in studio. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thanks to you and your listeners, Cathy.
All right. I hope that they can pick you up on the mic, and maybe I'm going to ask you to please speak just a little bit louder.
All right.
I've looked at the press statements that you've issued and just the back and forth that has been going on between you and Eskom. It sounds like, as a union, you're preparing for some kind of onslaught for workers at Eskom. What are you anticipating is going to happen in the coming months there?
Clearly, today, just before lunch, it was clear that Eskom is backing out of the negotiation table. They said we have deadlocked, and there was no hope that even the few days that are still left for the negotiations to get going, they are abandoning that opportunity. Our members are already angry and very disgusted by the way in which Eskom is negotiating. They feel that the organization does not care about them. They do not even respect the fact that they are employees of Eskom and they are South Africans. They also have to be given an opportunity to get salaries as Eskom gets opportunity to increase the electricity. They have never asked for 0% increase, but they are able to offer 0% increase to the same people who also have to pay electricity. So we feel that this organization is really not respecting the citizens and the workers. Part
of what you have done is that you've also called for the CEO of Eskom and the chair of the board, Mr. Hadebe and Mabuza, to both step down from their positions. But obviously these two men do not act independently. They're in charge of a management structure and an entire board. Why must they be the ones to leave?
I had a saying that says the fish rot from the head. So we have already brought in a rotten head. To start with, you have a CEO who closes the door before he even gets inside, saying Eskom should not employ people externally. 1 month or 2 weeks later, he gets to be employed, because for him, employment knocks at his doorstep. Who is it that is not supposed to get an opportunity to work at Eskom, and who must, if it's not him? So we had a shop steward council on the 5th, and workers said, let the man go before he destroys us. The history of those people is not something that we will get into, but we have looked at their track record, and we have realized that they do have track record of destroying employment in the country.
But one of the things that you're specifically pointing to here, and I was slightly alluding to it in my first question, was that you feel that there's going to be a restructuring of some sort taking place at Eskom through the privatization talks that we're hearing. And so part of your concern is not just over the 0%, but over what the overall structure at the power utility is going to look like in the coming months.
Correct, and that's why we are saying Pagamani must Pagama and go. Then we stay with people who are prepared to build the organization. Reason being, the organization itself can generate income. The only thing is mismanagement at the leadership level. He's not looking at what is it that is going wrong. I don't think when he was offered the salary that he was offered, he said, no, don't offer me that, but offer me half of that. But if he can say, and if Eskom leadership that is negotiating can tell us that they have exhausted their mandate, then it means there's no way where they can go. Let Pagama and go and leave Eskom, and Eskom be directed by people who've got interest.
Workers are very angry. You're threatening a national blackout. Do you think that it's fair that South Africans who actually have nothing to do with the labor issues at Eskom, your statement has gone as far as to warn hospitals to get generators ready when you pull the light, when you switch the lights off?
We will not.
Are you not holding the country to ransom?
We will not switch the lights off, but we will withdraw our labor. We will not deliberately go to the lights, but without our participation, that electricity will go off.
But
so
do you think that South Africa, do you think that the whole of South Africa must pay for this labor dispute, and without taking anything away from the seriousness of the labor dispute that you're having with Eskom?
We're hoping that it doesn't get to that. Indeed, it will be a tragedy in the country. We're really hoping that it will not get to that. This afternoon we sat with other unions, we worked together, and we said, look, we are not irresponsible organizations, all of us there. We worked on the strategy, we will engage our leadership, we are communicating with our members, but if this happens, we are warning, because if really there's nobody manning those stations, anything can happen.
Just very briefly, who is going to intervene further in this situation? Because right now it is at a stalemate.
It is indeed at a stalemate, but tomorrow we are meeting as trade unions. We are working on strategies. We are reporting to our principals as well as our senior leaders. We do have some suggestions that we want to present to them, and the intervention will definitely happen. And I think they will experience the difficulties that we are experiencing in the negotiations.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on to Newsnight. Helen Diatile, she speaks on behalf of the National Union of Mineworkers. In fact, she's the chief negotiator for the union at Eskom. Well,